You think you know what you want. Really think about it. That promotion, that car, that lifestyle you scroll past every day. You believe, deep down, that those desires are yours, that they just bubbled up from some authentic, true part of who you are. Well, that's the first and most dangerous lie you tell yourself. And here on Unspoken Rules, we don't do lies. We don't deal in comforting fantasies. We deal in the brutal architecture of reality, the deep psychological truths that are running your life whether you see them or not. And today, we are going to take a sledgehammer to the very foundation of your ambition.
So let me ask you, straight up, that burning ambition that keeps you grinding, the one you think defines you, is it actually yours? Or was it just whispered into your ear by a society that needs you to keep running on its hamster wheel? Was it carefully packaged and sold to you by an algorithm that knows your deepest insecurities better than you know them yourself? You know, most people will go their entire lives without ever stopping to ask that question. They just keep chasing, but not you. Not today.
All right, let's get into it. Before we can even begin to build the architecture of real affluence, we first have to demolish the crumbling, rotten foundation you're standing on right now. And that entire foundation is built on one single pervasive lie: the belief that your desires are your own, that you are the captain of your own wanting. It's time to absolutely shatter that illusion.
This is the first unspoken rule you have to understand. Your desire isn't a straight line. It's not you looking at a thing and deciding you want it. No, it's a triangle. There's you, the subject. Then there's a model, a colleague, an influencer, maybe even a character from a movie. That model desires an object, a certain status, a possession, a way of being. And it's only because they desire it that you start to desire it too. This is mimetic desire. You're not choosing your goals. You're outsourcing your wanting to other people, and you're turning your entire life into a subconscious game of copycat.
And look, don't for a second think this is some new thing, some product of social media. The philosopher René Girard figured this out decades ago. He saw us for what we are, creatures of imitation. We look to other people not just for tips or information, but for the very substance of our ambition. Your deepest wants, they weren't discoveries. They were infections, caught from the people you admire.
So how does this invisible force absolutely sabotage your financial life? Well, first, through triangular desire, you stop looking at things for what they are. You chase symbols of success simply because other people have told you they're valuable. Second, something called metaphysical desire kicks in. Now, you don't just want the model's car, you want their entire being, their perceived success, their confidence. And this leads you to chase empty prestige, status, instead of actual hard assets. And finally, the mimetic explosion of social media just pours gasoline on this whole fire, making it almost impossible to resist the constant pull of comparison and lifestyle creep. Your discipline is worthless when it's pointed at the wrong target.
Okay, so your desires have been hijacked. You're running full speed towards goals that were never even yours. But the trap, it goes deeper than that. Because even if you were chasing the right goal, your strategy, the way you're trying to get there, is almost certainly broken. You've been taught to play a game with a set of rules that guarantees you'll stay average. It's time you learn the rules the wealthy actually play by.
Think of it like this. The world operates on two completely different tracks. The first is linear thinking. This is the world of a fair day's work for a fair day's wage. You sell an hour of your life, you get paid for an hour. Your input is directly tied to your output. Yeah, it feels predictable, it feels safe, but there is a hard, unbreakable ceiling. You can't work more than 24 hours in a day. The second track is exponential thinking. And here, your input can lead to massively, wildly disproportionate output. You're not selling time anymore. You're building systems. You're using leverage. The returns are unpredictable, sure, but they are completely uncapped. This is the only path that leads to significant wealth, period. And this is the brutal, cold reality of that exponential world. Paul Graham lays it out perfectly right here. In this game, there is no prize for second place. The rewards are super linear. The winner doesn't just take most of the prize, the winner takes all of it. Good enough is a one-way to complete failure. Your comfortable, linear thinking life has not prepared you for this. So how do you get onto this exponential track? You do it through what Naval Ravikant calls permissionless leverage. These are the tools of modern wealth creation. We're talking about code and media. These are assets that literally work for you while you sleep. A piece of software can serve millions of people at once. A video, a podcast, can reach the entire globe for basically zero extra cost. And here's the most important part. Nobody can stop you from creating them. You don't need a degree. You don't need a gatekeeper's permission. These tools fundamentally sever the link between your time and your money. All right, we've shattered the lie of desire. We've exposed the broken strategy of linear work. Now it's time to rebuild. But we don't start with goals. We don't start with motivation. No. We start with the machine code of your mind, the deep subconscious mechanics that dictate every single action you take, every single day. I want you to burn this sentence into your brain. This is one of the most important truths you will ever hear. Forget about your goals, your New Year's resolutions. They are worthless. And here's why. Because when your willpower disappears, when motivation runs dry, and trust me, it always does, you won't rise to the occasion. You will fall back to the level of your underlying systems. The life you have right now is not the result of your goals, it's the lagging measure of your habits. This is the engine running in the background of your life, 24/7, the habit loop. It's a 4-step process your brain is constantly running on autopilot. First, there's a cue, a trigger in your environment. Then, a craving, the motivational force, the desire for a change in your state. Then comes the response, the actual habit you do. And finally, the reward, which satisfies that craving and teaches your brain, hey, let's do that again. This is the subconscious system that decides if you're productive or lazy, wealthy or poor. You cannot change your life until you learn how to re-engineer this loop. But here's the thing, just understanding the loop isn't enough. You need the master key to actually reprogram it. The huge mistake everyone makes is focusing on outcomes. I want to lose 20 pounds. That's the wrong frame entirely. The real goal isn't to read a book, it's to become a reader. The real goal isn't to write a novel, it's to become a writer. See, every action you take is like a vote for the type of person you want to become. Every time you work on your business, instead of watching Netflix, you're casting a vote for I am an entrepreneur. True, lasting change isn't about what you do, it's about who you are becoming. Okay, now for the tactical blueprint. We are moving out of theory and into direct application. The goal here is to stop relying on the flimsy concepts of discipline or motivation. The real goal is to become the architect of your own environment, to design a system where your success isn't just possible, it's pretty much inevitable, where doing the right thing becomes the easiest thing to do. The first law of behavior change is all about that first step in the habit loop, the cue. You don't need more motivation. You need better, more obvious triggers for the habits you want to build. Your environment is the invisible hand shaping your behavior every second of the day. And right now, it's probably designed perfectly to trigger distraction and consumption. We're about to change that. So here's exactly how you do it. First, you use habit stacking. You piggyback a new habit onto a habit you already do automatically. After I pour my morning coffee, I will plan my day for 1 minute. It anchors the new behavior. Second, you design your environment. Want to read more? Put a book on your pillow. It's the first thing you see. Want to work out? Put your gym clothes right by your bed. Conversely, you make bad habits invisible. Get the junk food off the counter. Hide the TV remote in another room. See, self-control is a battle you'll eventually lose. Environment design is a war you win before it even starts. All right, the second law targets the craving phase. You have to understand habits are a dopamine-driven feedback loop. It's the anticipation of a reward, not the reward itself, that actually drives us to act. So if we want to build a habit, we have to make it more attractive. We have to literally make your brain crave the action before you even do it. So how do we manufacture this craving? You use temptation bundling. You pair an action you need to do with an action you want to do. I will only listen to my favorite podcast while I'm on the treadmill. Even more powerfully, you join a culture where your desired behavior is the normal behavior. This hijacks that same mimetic engine we talked about earlier, but now it works for you. If everyone you hang out with is building something, your ambition suddenly feels normal. And finally, you have to reframe your mindset. You don't say, ugh, I have to make sales calls. You say, I get to connect with clients and build my empire. You transform burdens into opportunities. The third law attacks the response itself. We are fundamentally wired to conserve energy. It's just biology. This means we will always gravitate towards the option that requires the least amount of effort. So the secret to locking in good habits isn't about some heroic, monumental effort. It's about reducing friction until the action is so easy, it's almost effortless. You make it easy by just systematically reducing friction. Lay out your workout clothes the night before. Prepare your healthy meals for the week on Sunday. Next, you use the 2-minute rule. Any new habit, you scale it down until it takes less than 2 minutes. Read 1 page, do 1 push-up. The point isn't to get results right then and there. The point is to master the art of just showing up. And the most powerful of all, automate. A single, one-time decision to set up an automatic savings plan eliminates thousands of future opportunities for you to fail.
Redesign your life so that the things that matter most are also the easiest things to do.
And finally, the fourth law. This is what closes the loop. See, the human brain evolved in what's called an immediate return environment. Our ancestors were worried about finding food today. The problem is, most of the important habits in modern life, exercising, investing, building a business, they all exist in a delayed return environment. The reward is weeks, months, or even years down the road. So to make a habit stick, you have to find a way to give yourself an immediate sense of satisfaction. The cardinal rule of behavior change is this: what is immediately rewarded gets repeated. What is immediately punished gets avoided. It's that simple. So use reinforcement. Move $5 into a vacation fund every time you stick to your budget. Use a habit tracker. That simple, satisfying act of checking off a box creates a visual record of your progress and makes you not want to break the chain. And for avoiding bad habits, get an accountability partner. Make the cost of failure immediate, public, and painful. Nothing will keep you on track quite like the risk of public embarrassment.
So there you have it. We've deconstructed the lies you believe, the broken strategies you've been following, and the deep inner mechanics of your own mind. This isn't just information I'm giving you. This is a mirror. It's a direct personal challenge. You now have the architectural plans. The only question left is, what are you going to build?
I want you to look at your life. Right now, what is the one pattern of failure, the one mistake that you seem to repeat year after year after year? You know what it is. And now you also know the systems that create it. So the choice is yours. You can continue being a pawn of these unseen forces, adrift in mimetic desires and broken systems, always wondering why you're stuck. Or you can become the architect. You can use these rules to design your environment, to reprogram your own mind, and to build a life of absolute intention. The system is clear. The choice is now. Will you remain a puppet, or will you hit that subscribe button and commit to seeing reality as it actually is? Join the architects. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below with the one system you will start building today. Take control.